Welcome to Real Dead.
Hey everyone, this is Mike,
And this is Josh.
and this is Real
Real
Dead
Dead.
Horror Community on Facebook, but
Right?
the YouTube channel Real Dead. And
Yes.
today, what movie we're going to talk about, Josh?
Saw 2, which I think in many ways is better than the original, in my opinion.
Wow, I mean, really, Josh.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to wait to the very end to get your rating on that, but
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
interesting.
Yes.
I will say this right off the bat: the acting was much better in this one. Donnie
Yeah.
Wahlberg. I don't know how many movies he had done prior to this. I thought he did a pretty good job, and the main character that plays
Yeah.
Jigsaw,
Yeah.
did a
I
good
like.
job too.
I kind of like that him because you kind of believe that he's kind of been like this dirty cop over the years. Planting evidence on people, getting them arrested, and doing other. I mean, having an affair on his wife with a coworker, and all that. He's kind of been, not that great of a cop, in his personal life and on the job. And you can believe that with this character.
Yeah, I definitely can. I mean, especially I don't mean it bad covering all cops, but
No,
he's definitely the bad cop in this one.
yeah, he's the bad apple, right?
So do you want to bring up some of the characters in this one, Josh?
Okay, so we just talked about Donnie Wahlberg. He actually plays a cop named Eric Matthews, and I think it was Eric Matthews, right?
I think Sergeant Matthews, or they called him something Matthews. Yeah,
right. So yeah, he's the main character cop, and just like other Screams, like there's characters that surround him that will actually appear in later movies, but they always focus on usually one character, like that. But like a lot of his cop friends will be coming back in later movies. And I think the one girl was in the first movie, right? Like the woman that he had an affair with. It was in the last movie. Curly hair.
I didn't catch that.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there's a drug addict that's in there that was in the first one.
The curly haired officer, the dark haired girl.
Yeah.
That was who I'm pretty sure he had an affair with, and it ruined his marriage or whatever. But yeah, she's in this. There's another guy who's a friend of his that's like with like I don't know if it's a SWAT team or whatever, but he's a black guy. He's in this and he's helping him. And it's all about pursuing Jigsaw. This movie, right, Mike?
Yeah, maybe I should show real quick then. Well, it kind of shows us the score at the same time, but
that's okay.
We can show the what Rotten Tomatoes said about this. And there's the movie poster, which I think is really cool.
Really good. Really good.
So Saw 2, I'm gonna read the movie info, and then we go back and look at everybody can see the tomato meter and audience score here.
Right.
But on the hunt for the twisted vigilante and serial killer Jigsaw, played by Toby Bell,
he's
Detective
great.
Eric Matthews, who is Donnie Wahlberg, and his team must apprehend the elusive murderer to rescue 8 people trapped in an abandoned house.
Right.
Before they succumb to his torturous and murderous games. One twist to the task is that Matthew's own son, Daniel, which Eric Knudsen, is among the 8 people Jigsaw has chosen to test for their lack of morality. With nerve gas pumping through the house, every second counts. This is R-rated because of gore and drug content, grisly violence. Genre was definitely horror, mystery, murder, thriller.
Yep.
Director was Darren Boozman.
Yeah.
Writer was Darren Boozman and Lee Wanelli. And its release date was October the 28th, 2005.
Yep.
And box office at the time, I don't know if this is up to date or not, but $87 million.
Yeah.
And it's an hour and 33 minutes.
So, Mike, this is actually one that I did see in the theater when it first came out. Me and my ex, what'd you say? What year was it?
2005.
Yeah, I probably was engaged at that time. So me and my ex-fiance saw this in the theater and really, really enjoyed it. Thought it was good. And I don't agree with this tomato score, Mike. Really, I really don't. I think the critic score is just really low. Honestly, there's a lot worse movies than this. The audience score is a little more favorable, but still, I don't know if I agree with it, Mike. I think this is, I personally, like I said, out of the whole series, I think this is my favorite. I don't know if I can, I haven't revisited in a while, but I think it is. But yeah, they mentioned the son Daniel. You'll need to know him. He's like a main character as well. So this opening scene, Mike, was awesome. I really like this. What a way to start the movie, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there watching with my wife and my son, and my wife is kind of getting into the Saw movies here all of a sudden because it's been so long. I don't think I've ever seen this one. I don't think I ever saw it, rented it. I don't think I ever saw it at the movie theater. If I did, I don't remember it. But that very opening scene where they got the I think I can't remember what the guy did for a profession, but in other words, they got a key hid behind his eye, and he's got to reach in there to try to get that key out to unlock this trap. It's kind of like a reverse Venus flytrap on his head. It's got nails in it. And I'm like, surely the guy's going to dig it out his eyeball or something. And my son's sitting there like, do it. And he does it. And
no.
It's pretty bad.
That trap is pretty sweet. And yeah, he just sits there and does it and just screams. And he doesn't do anything. I mean, he should have, he didn't have the will to live. I mean, I think that's a trap where you could, you're going to hurt yourself. You have to dig your eye out and stuff. But you could get out of that one. Just like.
What was his profession again? Because that's the whole reason it was behind his eye was because something he said his whole career he's seen things and
turned his eye.
He turned his eye to it. So what was he? What was his career? What was his?
He wasn't a lawyer, was he?
I can't remember.
Me neither. I didn't write it down.
I didn't write it down either, but it was a good opening scene, I thought.
Yeah, definitely good opening to the movie. I just said the guy didn't have a will to live. It was kind of like a fly trap, and it was cool. Yep. Definitely memorable. So we talked about the cop and stuff. But yeah, so his son is in a house with 7 other people. I think you said there's 8 people in this house total.
Yes.
And they're in this house and they got to figure out how to escape into this game. It's the game. This is the main game of the show or of the movie. And they have to figure out a combination. And each thing to try to figure out this, they have to get a antidote for that gas, and each test for each one of them is something that they like, something that's bothering them in their lives, or something that is like their problem in their life. Also, the cool thing that you find out later is like all of them have something in common, is they were all arrested by Daniel's father. And they were like
by Donnie Wahlberg.
And they were all kind of like maybe arrested under circumstances that weren't, maybe they shouldn't have been.
They definitely were. I mean, he said he planted the evidence on them.
Right. So, and every single one of them went down because of him being a dirty cop.
Right.
So, yeah, and
that
so
doesn't
they don't
come
know
out to about 3/4 of the way through the movie, but you don't know that, and you're like, I thought it was pretty predictable. It was early on that, hey, this is the son of the cop. These people are out off the bat say they spent time in prison. I kind of thought either they were parole officers. Some of them may have been parole officers. Some of them were in the judicial system somehow, but definitely 3 of them right off the bat had spent time in prison. So right off the bat, I kind of put 2 and 2 together that cop has something to do with these guys in here.
Right. Well, and then you're like, wait, why is Amanda back in the game? She survived a freaking reverse bear trap. Like, why is she back in the game? You know,
I mean, and right off the bat, I'm thinking, well, did she have a relapse? And we'll find out she did later on in it.
Right.
She did have a relapse.
Right.
But the whole thing, the real reason she's in there is because Donnie Wahlberg's character threw her to the wolves by planting drugs on her when
Yep.
she really wasn't doing anything wrong, just to
Right.
stick her back in prison again.
Yeah. Yep. He did. And yeah. So, and if, I
What do you
mean,
think about Jigsaw being like this movie? Most of them, you're trying to find Jigsaw. And the very first one, you don't see him to the very end. But this one, right off the bat, they find him and he's just playing with the cops right there. You can
right.
tell he is.
Right. I really like that he was, and they didn't want to do anything to him because like he knows where everybody is. And also the cool thing is the cops, because they they found Jigsaw's lair, and they're watching it all on these monitors, like this game going on. But the one thing that you don't realize is that they're actually watching recording, and the game happened days ago, and you don't realize it.
Yep.
That was a really cool twist to the movie, Mike.
That was a cool twist. You're talking the points up a little higher to me now. Now that you're bringing up stuff, that was a cool twist to it. And one thing, we're going to spill the beans 12 minutes into this. One thing that Jigsaw kept telling Officer Matthew was what? Remember the rules of the game,
right?
And what he say about a safe? He said something.
He said your son is in a safe place. Also, he said, if you just listen to me, just listen.
And he's not listening. He's just all pissed off the whole time.
Yep. And he wants to just beat the shit out of him. That's all he wants to do. And he finally gets his wish, and he does beat the shit out of Jigsaw. Man, watch this movie. I'm like, man, we need a Jigsaw NECA figure. That's what I kept thinking the whole movie, Mike. Like, they are missing the boat on this.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I really liked it because, like, in the movie, you're following these characters in this house trying to get antidotes, all different characteristics, all sex, genders, and or genders, I mean, and like nationalities, all that. Like, all these people are different walks of life. And the one guy, you realize when he goes up to his trap, he's got to go in this like thing, like a burning thing to get burnt, to what's that? Cremator. And it's found out that he actually helped Jigsaw get all of these people. And so then they're like wanting to kill him, but he gets in there. And the one thing that I really like is the saying that Jigsaw says to him. He says, he goes, listen, I can't remember the guy's name, but he said, on his tape, it says, once you're in hell, only the devil can help you out. That's what he said. And that was part of his trick is when he was in there, he had to notice that there was like a devil picture on the wall to turn the gas off inside this trap, but he couldn't reach it once he noticed it because it was already that much on fire. Right. And the guy burned alive, and that was horrible.
So another thing they say at the very beginning is, and I wish I kind of had the wording for that. Basically, Jigsaw says, you need to listen. You got to work together. You all have something in common. And he basically says, the key to this, or the code to this, is in the back of your minds. And that's something I did pick up on right off the bat too. As another thing was like, hey, it's either shaved or tattooed in the back of their head. I thought it was in their hair. Right. And then come to find out towards the end of the movie, one of the bad guys in there, he picks up on it. He's like, whoa, he saw a number on the back of somebody's head that was dead. So then he knew to go around and try to get all 8 numbers.
Yep.
And then at the end of it, one of the girls is like, you don't even have your own. I need to tell you that. And he's like, nope. He took his big knife and then cut off his own skin just to get the number off. And he had his own number. I mean, it was pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, so the purpose is trying to get your antidote, and that's what leads to people dying in this. I mean, one guy gets shot in the eye, which was lame. I thought that was kind of lame. The one lady like puts her arms through this thing, and then she messes the antidote up, and then her arms just cut. You don't ever see her die, but you assume she cuts her arms up so much that she just dies. But yeah, so let's talk about it. Your favorite trap, Mike. I mean, the one that was like, oh God, was when that guy pushes Amanda in that pit of needles, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Oh, because the guy's a drug dealer or whatever. Yep. And so they said, you need, because you make everybody else sick and with these needles and stuff. Like, you have to go through it. But then he's ticked and he goes, I'm not going to do it. He grabs Amanda up, who, was a former drug addict or is a drug addict. And he picks her up and throws her in this pit of needles, man. And then she's just, digging for this key in them. That part, I just didn't like it, man. It just got to me.
My kind of going back to the very beginning, I think the opening scene to me was the best kill.
Yeah, that was
the trap
awesome.
on the head that just it closes shut, and then you see all the blood coming out, and the guy hits the floor, and so that to me is my favorite kill right off the bat within the first 2 or 3 minutes of the movie. That's one thing about the Saw movies. Usually they start out really fast, and they kind of suck you in on it.
The one thing that I think was cool is that they actually did a flashback and showed that John Kramer, who was Jigsaw, once he got his terminal, he got told that he got terminal cancer. He tried to commit suicide, and he ended up living. He crashed his car off a bridge or something. He ended up living, and that's when he had the thought about the jigsaw, like that's where he came up with, like, I was appreciative of my life after that, and these people will too. And I kind of set
the story for the rest of the series,
right? And they still try to say, "Oh, he never really killed anybody." Yes, he does. That's bullcrap. I still don't buy it.
That's like saying Charles Manson's not a killer.
That's right. So, okay,
let's talk about 2 things real quick, and then we'll give our favorite our rating here. Real quick, there was two big twists. There's actually several twists in this movie.
Yeah,
but the female drug addict,
Amanda.
Josh, tell everybody what her role was in the whole show.
Her and Daniel are the last 2 people alive, and they end up in the original Saw room. So you're like, holy crap, this house.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's all connected. Like, the house they were in is all connected to the original. Like, you start to see that this is just bigger. Like, this whole area that Jigsaw has is just a big area. They end up in the original room. You see the body and stuff. And then the other guy ends up in there too. But then that guy that you said that cut his neck or whatever. But they end up in there, and then you learn that Amanda is actually part of Jigsaw, because the cop busts in the house, Eric Matthews, he busts in the house looking for his son. And this is also when you learn with all this that they're actually watching a tape, and it's not live for the other police officers. Because when he's going around the house, all the stuff, people have been dead a long time and all that. And then he ends up in the original room, Eric does, and someone attacks him and puts a needle, and you're like, who is that? Because
has the pig thing on their head, you know?
Jigsaw's beat the crap up in his car. So you're like, wait, who is this? And then he ends up chained up in the room, and then you see Amanda, and she tells him, like, you did this to me, blah, blah, you'll pay for it or something. And then she's like, game over, and she shuts that door like at the end of the original.
Yeah, both his ankles are chained up, and there's a saw there.
Right.
So he'd have to cut off both his legs to get out of that.
That's right. And you find out that his son, Daniel, is actually in the original room that they were at the whole time in a safe, but it was on a timer. So when the timer ran out for the house, this safe opened up, and he had like oxygen on. So he was there the whole time. If the guy would have just paid attention to what Jigsaw was saying, he would have known this. But like you said, he was just nuts and mad, and he didn't care. So
yeah,
it
was a good twist. It was a good twist at the end. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. Was it as good? Was it as impactful as the twist at the end of the first one? No. But was this movie overall better? Yes, in my opinion.
I think it was a better movie.
Yeah.
So it's a good time. I don't know if you want to say how many saws or whatever you want to say for this one.
How many safes, Mike? We'll say safes.
Okay.
I'm giving this
I guess that's better than syringes. And people would look at us funny if we said syringes.
Man.
Or antidotes. How many antidotes is it?
Okay, antidotes. I'm going high on this one because I like the acting, I like the movie, I like the twists. I'm saying this is a 3.7, Mike, for me.
Oh wow. Way up. 3.7.
Yeah.
Wow. So I thought it was a good movie. Acting was a lot better than the first one. I mean, you did have Danny Glover in the first one though, but you don't
Yeah,
have him in this one.
he was by far the best actor in the first movie.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg, I thought did a great job. All the other supporting cast actors did a good job. Even
Tobin Bell,
the eight
Tobin
people
Bell,
in the, huh?
Tobin Bell was a lot better in this one.
Yep.
Like he had a lot more to do. I mean,
Yep. And
so,
the 8 characters in the house were pretty good.
yeah.
I did think the middle part of this, probably after the first third of it, the next third was kind of like, it was kind of just muddling along for me. But overall, I did think it was a good movie. And Josh, you talked my score up because I was going to give it a 2.75, but I'm going to give it a 3. Not quite as high as you. I do think it's average, 3 being average for me. But it's still definitely worth a watch. My wife watched it with me. She had never seen it either, and she actually really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand, though, at the very end of this, the whole big door to pull out of, because I thought on the first one, when they throw it back and the guy crawls out of there with his foot off, that it was like going outside. But this one didn't look like it was going outside. It was like, I don't know. Maybe I missed something on that one.
There's a series of tunnels and stuff under there, Mike.
Going in there,
and it dives into more of that in the more movies you get into.
It's been a while. I don't know that I watched anything other than the very first one, so I look forward to number 3. So we're gonna do the first 3 of this. We've already done 1, and you got the review last week. This is review number 2, and we're gonna watch Saw 3.
Yes,
and we'll tell you what we think about that one as well. But Josh, I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was a good movie to watch. Well worth watching if you got time to watch it.
And the one thing I do like is that Jigsaw does have an apprentice. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
Somebody has to carry on, especially the guys like dying of cancer. He can't do much, so I do like it.
All right, you guys have a good one. Please like and subscribe to Real Dead.
Yes.
Also, check us out on Real Dead Horror Community on Facebook. And try to sign up there. We'll approve it and talk horror with us.
Yeah,
hey,
I just want to say something real quick. I wanted to say that we just crossed over 300 subscribers, so that's good. We're marching towards 400, so that's good.
Yeah, we got some big things lined up. You have to stay tuned. We won't go spill the beans on them, but a lot of good horror movies coming out. In fact, by the time this comes out, Boogeyman would have already been out. So we'll probably be doing a review on that soon. So have a good one.
Stay tuned. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.